Reviews. You're watching our video review of the Tronfy updated version of the Bluetooth 4.0 earpiece. It plugs directly into your ears. You can listen to music as well as use it as a Bluetooth earpiece for answering calls and using Siri for any voice assistance. It's going to work with any Android, iOS, or Windows phones. Now the updated version has one extra inside the box. Instead of coming with just the simple Bluetooth earbud, you have access to a lot of silicone tips for you to get a more custom fit. And there's also the addition of one more earbud that you can plug into the micro USB port, and essentially we now have a stereo headset that you can listen to music to on both ears. So this is an update that we didn't have on the original version. Otherwise, the earbud itself is still the same in terms of design, and it comes in multiple colors. We have the coffee version here, which is pretty interesting, very discreet. There's also a flat ribbon wire for charging the Bluetooth earbud. It's not going to tangle, it's very short, easy to take with you, and is a standard micro USB end. We also have a warranty guide in the box as well. The earbud itself retails for $15 on Amazon.com, so it is very affordable. There is a quick start guide that shows you how to set things up, pair it with the phone, use it for all the different functions. In terms of specifications, we have a 5-hour rated battery life, which is pretty decent for voice calls, and there's also a 6-hour battery life for listening to music, which is great. It's actually a lot longer than some other Bluetooth dedicated earbuds I've seen, which are a lot larger. Pretty impressive since Tronfy managed to pack in a pretty good battery into such a small package. Otherwise, this earbud can also pair to 2 Bluetooth sources at the same time, so 2 phones or 2 tablets, without having to disconnect and repair every single time. Taking a look at the earbuds next, they have a pretty good design going for them. They're pretty comfortable, very lightweight, it's crafted out of plastic, and we'll discuss audio quality later on. There is a silicone tip on the other side which you can customize with the availability of other tips that you can fit depending on your ear size, and the cable length is also appropriate for something that plugs into the other side, and this wire can be attached onto the back of your neck when you're running around, jogging, or listening to music. This part is a simple micro USB tip that plugs into the usual charging port if you want to add stereo music support. Taking a look at the availability of the silicone tips, we have options for different sizes, for different layers. There's dual tips, there's single ones. There's also different clips that you can use to attach the actual Bluetooth earbud more securely, again, if you are using it for exercising purposes. But I found it to be pretty comfortable just using it as is without the clip design of the Bluetooth earbud next. It's virtually the same as the previous generation model that we also reviewed. On the front, you have access to a power on-off switch, which you can tap for a few seconds longer to initiate the pairing mode. It's pretty responsive and easy to use. It's also, again, very large, so it's quite easy to press, and pairing it with a smartphone only takes about 15 seconds to complete, so it's quite easy as well. The side features a reject key for any calls that are incoming. You can also use it to pause your music or to play it in the audio mode, and there's also a micro USB charging port on the side there. And it's pretty simple to pair it with the phone. It only takes about 10 to 15 seconds. We have the Tronfy logo on the front. It's a very glossy build, so it does attract quite a bit of fingerprints. And even though it is made out of plastic, it feels very lightweight, so I don't think it's going to pose any issues in terms of wearing it for extended periods of time, which is excellent. On the other side, you have access to that microphone, which you can think is a little bit small, and the placement of this is very close to your ears, so you might be thinking it's not going to do a good job of picking up your voice. But in practice, we found it to be quite strong, even though it's, has a pretty far distance from your mouth. When you're talking, it does a good job of picking up what you're saying, and overall the audio quality is generally impressive. It's not as good as a landline phone, but I have to say for most cell phones, it does work pretty nicely. Otherwise, it does not have a noise canceling feature on here, so in noisier environments, it's not going to do as well for listening to music or also for using the microphone. However, in general, if you are in a marketplace, maybe walking outside in a quiet environment, it does the job pretty nicely. In practice, we found the battery life was also decent. It didn't exactly reach the 6 hours that was claimed for audio listening. We got about 5.5 hours before the battery drained, but recharging the unit only takes about 2 hours to complete, which is also very speedy and fast. We also found it was pretty comfortable to wear for, again, 2 to 3 hours without any much discomfort, and that goes with both this part as well as the additional tip that you can attach onto the other side for listening to stereo music. Otherwise, though, I have to say the audio quality on here is decent. Again, it's not the best that we've heard, which is expected for a $15 pair of Bluetooth earbuds, but the reception remains strong at around 10 feet with your phone or your tablet, and there is a general clarity to these, which I didn't really expect for something at this price point. There's a bit of static if you try to move, further than 10 feet from your audio source, and the bass could be a bit stronger as well as the higher end frequencies, but overall, for the casual user, I think they'll be pleased with the audio experience experience. It certainly does the trick for any voice calls that you want. Earbud here does a pretty good job of playing back your music as well. It doesn't offer as clear audio quality as the one found in the back of the Bluetooth earbud for some odd reason, but in general the volume was very consistent, and it created a three-dimensional effect if you're listening to music regardless of the genre. The silicone ear tips are also very noise isolating, so you can't really hear much of what's going on around you when you're wearing these, which is excellent. So at the end of the day, the updated version of the Tronfy Bluetooth 4.0 earbuds are a pretty good deal because you can use them to listen to music. They are ultra compact and small, especially the coffee version, which blends in with your skin tone quite nicely. There's tons of different adjustable tips as well as clips that you can use to get a custom fit. Audio quality is quite strong, and the battery life at around 5.5 hours is still a lot longer than I expected. So to learn more information about these, be sure to read our full written review, but this has been our video. Thanks for watching your OS reviews.